Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Murders y Comadriando a la Distancia. Today's episode was gonna be done by Esmeralda.
Hi. Okay, are we ready? Sorry, I gotta scoot closer to my notes right now. Okay, let's start. On November 6, 1989, in Bristol, Connecticut, a beautiful baby boy was born, and they named him Aaron. Now, Aaron didn't have a nice or a beautiful childhood growing up. There was constant fighting in his home. There was a lot of abuse. Both of his parents would be arrested and involved in crimes, and his dad would beat him, his brothers, and his mom. Now, he lived in a constant fear of his dad up until his dad died when he was 16. And it was later on in his life, it came out that he had been molested for several years, starting at the age of 6. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead to the 2010 NFL draft. And in the fourth pick, New England Patriots draft Aaron Hernandez. Now, Aaron Hernandez played for 2 years for them. And ever since the beginning, he did play professional football in college for University of Florida. He even helped them win a championship in 2009. But ever since he was in high school, he was the type of player that was so good, but he didn't feel like he had to work for it. So he had so much talent in football, he didn't feel he had to really put that much effort or work for things that he was achieving. Okay. He was known as a player with red flags. So people at the University of Florida would say that whenever there was an issue, he was around. If there was a problem, his name would be thrown out there. And people didn't have the best words to describe him. He was described as a con man and being untrustworthy, that he would burn you, and that he was immature and could be easily persuaded to do the wrong thing. He had a temper and would always be fighting. Now, the team, the New England Patriots that he was drafted into, was not too far from his home. It was a 2-hour drive. Okay. So he was still able to keep those old friend ties and just old companionship that he had throughout college and throughout high school. Okay. During 2013, which was the off season for football, he was arrested and charged for the murder of Odin Lloyd. Now, Odin Lloyd was a semi-professional player who was dating the sister of Hernandez's fiance. Okay, so we're going to be future brother-in-laws. On June 22nd, 2013, he was charged with the first-degree murder and 5 gun-related charges. On August 22nd, 2013, he was indicted, so he was formally accused by a grand jury for first-degree murder. On September 2003, he pled not guilty. And on April 15th, 2015, he was found guilty of first-degree murder and for the 5 additional gun charges, and he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. So the motive has never been established. People don't know for sure why he murdered Odin Lloyd, but it has been rumored that maybe Lloyd learned about Hernandez's sexuality, that he was bisexual, and that Hernandez was worried that he might out him to the public. Because Aaron Hernandez, I don't know if you guys know or were aware, but he had a fiance and he had a daughter already. Okay. Now, he was convicted, right? Sentenced to life in prison. Now, he appealed that sentencing. And in the middle of his appeal, he committed suicide on April 19th, 2017. At 3 a.m., he was found hanging with bed sheets from the window in his cell at the Souza Baranowski Correctional Center in Massachusetts. And at 4:07 a.m., he was pronounced dead. Now, that first day that he was found hanging, there were no suicide notes. There was nothing found. There was writing in blood on the walls, and there was writing on him. And then the next day, they found 3 suicide notes, and they were next to a Bible open to John 3:16. And that text says, For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Now, one of the letters was written to his attorney, Jose Baez. Now, this letter was just thanking him because he had just been acquitted from a double murder conviction. And that lawyer had helped acquit him, right? So it was a thank you note for him. And in that letter, it says that I guess he had different artists that he said, tell them thank you because their songs helped keep him motivated while he was in prison.
Yeah.
Okay. So the second letter was to his fiance, in which he told her, "You're rich." So it's suspected that he committed the suicide so that his fiance could get part of the money from his contract. So there is a law, and I'm not sure if it's in all states, but there's a law that says that if you are in the middle of an appeal for whatever you've been convicted of, if you're in the middle of an appeal and you die, technically you're innocent because you have not been convicted guilty because you're in the middle of an appeal. So they think that because he was in the middle of an appeal and he died, technically he's legally not guilty. So they think that that would have, what's the word? Like either way, the contract for him would have completed and part of that money would have gone to his fiance, right? Because they were going to take everything away. And she wasn't going to have any money and the baby wasn't going to have any money. So the third letter was to his daughter, and it doesn't say exactly what he wrote to her, but it was described as being very strange, rambling, and tender to her. It says that letter, towards the end of it, when they found him, I guess they found that they tested his blood and he had smoked, I think it's called K9 within, what was it? Oh my gosh, I had it within like 30 days that he was found. He had smoked K9, and what that is, it's like a synthetic cannabis. And that he was just, I guess, kind of having like what is it? I don't know if I want to say psychosis, but he was going through a lot of things mentally, and people think, and it is said, it's questioned what his motive was to really kill Lloyd Odin. If it was just because he was a bad person because of his upbringing, that he suffered so much when he was a child and he just carried along the wrong friends, or if it was because he actually had a disease called CTE, and it's just severe brain damage that happens to people that get hit a lot in the head, and he had always played football. So they don't know if it was just something mental that made him react, or if it was his character and he was just a bad person. But that is the case of Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah. That was crazy. Yeah. Didn't they say that he had a lover in jail too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it said that he left money to his fiance and he left money to a close friend. But they don't say who the close friend is. And it's rumored that he was bisexual, but he never officially came out as bisexual. And after they had made a documentary or a docuseries, his fiance actually did an interview, and they asked her about that, like, oh, like, did you know that if he was bisexual or what? And she said, no, I never knew. And that she wished she would have known, because she would have told him that she loved him either way, and that she would have accepted him however he was, and that it hurt her in her heart to know that he carried that burden with him.
Yeah. I kind of heard a little bit about, so like around his childhood. I don't know if you guys know this, but he was previously, I think, I don't know if he was convicted or he was accused of killing 2 other people, like in a crash or something like that, or a hit and run. And years later, they ended up finding that car in his aunt's garage, and it was dusty. And so they like hid that car. Yeah. So it's kind of like this wasn't his first crime. So
that might be the double murder that he was acquitted of.
Yeah. And then it also came out that his dad was very strict. He did like beat them as kids. He beat the mom and all this. And I think
Yeah.
he was always hard on him. And I think I don't know what he did, but his dad kind of like got aggressive with him when he kind of made like a homophobic joke or something like that.
Yeah.
So, because the dad was completely anti that.
Yeah.
And so he like beat him and I don't know what he did. And
Yeah.
then
The dad was a
when
real piece of crap.
when Aaron finally, I don't know if it was his first game that he won or when he finally got drafted or something like that, like he hugged him and he told him like I don't care, like I love you, you guys are like my world and all this and that. And then the dad had gone into surgery for a hernia, I think it was,
Yeah.
and he ended up passing
He
away.
died.
And
Yeah, he died when he was 16.
that really hurt Aaron. And Aaron's mom was living with him at that time.
Yeah.
And what's it called? I guess it was just a couple months or like maybe 6 months after the dad died. Aaron later found out that his mom was sleeping with I think it was his aunt's husband or
Yeah.
something like that. And this guy was just like okay living at that house, at Aaron's house.
Yeah. And he ended
And
up like distancing himself from them.
yeah, because he said he couldn't take it anymore, that she screwed him up so bad because she did that, and that's why he left that home and went to go live with the aunt. And when it came to like um people stating their testimony and all this stuff, like
Yeah.
the aunt even went to jail because when they found that car because she
She
hid all that
didn't
stuff.
because she hid it.
And then I think she had cancer or she was battling cancer or something like that, and she was like a mom of five.
Hmm.
And he loved her like a mom.
Yeah.
And even the wife, when like they put her up on the stand, they were asking her like all these questions. And he had even like, I don't know if he wrote her a note or he called her and told her like, hey, behind this and this and this, there's a box that it has what they're looking for or what you're looking for. I need you to throw it out. And there is like the neighbor surveillance camera that shows like the size of the gun case
Yeah.
that she threw it out. And then they told her like, what did you do with it? And she's like, I got rid of it. And then they're like, where did you throw it? I don't remember.
Yeah.
So she
then-
covered for him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she did. And
She
even like,
did.
so what's his name? Odom? Or
Yeah.
Odin?
I think, yeah.
Odin.
Odin? Okay, so Odin's wife or girlfriend was her sister.
Her sister. Yeah.
And they asked her like, are you and your sister close? And she was like, not really or something like that. And the day that they found out that Odin died, uh, Aaron Hernandez had cameras in his house,
Hmm.
and it showed that they were like hugging and like they were crying and like all this stuff. And then they said like in the courtroom, the sister sat on one side and the fiance sat on the other side. Like she
Gosh.
never left Aaron.
Mhm.
No.
She
That they
stood by
had known
his
each
side.
other. Yeah, they had known each other, I think, since elementary school.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Her
And
Aaron
I
Hernandez
heard
and his
like all of
fiance.
this through Netflix. It's called The Killer Inside.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
watched that documentary.
I watched it too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's like where I got like a lot of the information. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
anyone wants to watch it,
It's really sad. It's really sad and it's really interesting because you think about his childhood growing up, imagine. And
Mhm. He had a
then
rough childhood.
he had a very rough childhood, very sad. And then it's like it wasn't even only one parent, it was both parents. And then to
Yeah.
think that when his dad died, they say that it really, really affected him. And that's when he started going like down the bad road. He started hanging out with like gang members. He started doing a bunch of bad stuff he shouldn't be doing. And he maintained that all throughout his college, all throughout the draft. Like once he was even on the Patriots, and it's like They say that he was such a good player. He should have been in the first round picks of the NFL draft, but he was in the fourth round because he was such a red flag.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But he was such a good player that he was still in the fourth round. I don't know if you
Like,
guys watch the
it's just-
NFL draft or not, but like we
Yeah.
watch it and it's like to still be fourth round, it's still pretty impressive because you're so good at it. And they
Yeah.
even went when he was with the New England Patriots, they even went to the Super Bowl. They didn't win that year, but they got to the Super Bowl. That's how good of a player they were. And it was him and Gronkowski. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but Gronkowski, they were teammates and they did such a good job together because they were tight end. They did so good that it's crazy what a good player he was. That's why they say like he was such a red flag because he knew he was that good. He didn't have to put that much effort into it. He didn't have to practice that hard. He didn't have to put the work in, and he just flew by, but he was
Like
just so
it was easy for
talented.
him. Yeah.
He was so talented. Yep. And there was even a report that I read, I think it was on ESPN, that said the reporter said like if he would have been drafted into a different team that was further than where the Patriots are, he probably would have been a different person because he would have gotten rid of all those bad acquaintances that he had close to home. It was a 2-hour drive from the headquarters of the Patriots to his hometown. It was 2 hours. And if you think about it, for us people that live in the US, 2 hours is nothing,
Yeah.
you know? So I thought that was really sad. When I had read his case and I saw the documentary and everything, I thought it was really sad. There's so much that goes into it and so many details.
Yeah. And there's a lot of videos too, right? That
There's a lot of
like,
videos.
he left and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of videos too.
Yeah, there's a lot
A
of
lot of good
videos on
clips.
him. Yeah, I got like the major part of it, and it's more on Aaron Hernandez himself and how he died and kind of why he died, which it was never confirmed why
Mhm.
he died, but I thought it was really interesting and really sad because you think of a person, you're like, oh, well, this person is a murderer. He was convicted of first-degree murder, right? With a gun, no remorse, straight up just shot him in the middle of a field of I
Mhm.
think it was like a construction field. But you look at him and you're like, wait, but he was famous. He had an amazing career. He had a beautiful fiance. He had a beautiful baby girl. He had money. Like,
That's
why
why a
would he
lot of
do
people
that?
were
Why would
saying
he
that
risk
they
it?
couldn't believe it that he would just throw his career
Yeah,
away.
he just
Yeah.
he threw everything away. And it's like,
Mhm.
it was like, for what? What was the point of him doing that? So was it really that he was found out that he was bisexual and he didn't want it to get out? Or was it a mental instability because of his severe brain? Because they say it was severe brain damage.
Yeah, because
They took
they said que
images.
sí lo tenía, right? It came
Yes,
out
he
in
did
the
have it. Yeah, he did have it. They took scans of his brain and it showed not a little bit of brain damage, severe brain damage. De todos
that
los
could have been
golpes que él
too.
recibió. So was
Yeah.
it that? Was it the being bisexual and he just couldn't deal with the world knowing it? Was it being abused and having a very terrible childhood? I thought it was interesting because you think like, man, like he had such a good life going for him. Why would he risk it all for that?
But sometimes you can have like money and everything, but money sometimes is not enough, like especially if he had brain damage, if he had like a bad like upbringing, all of that is probably
Yeah.
worse than
Imagine all
having
that,
money
and
and
let's just say if he was doing drugs, so it's like drugs take an effect also.
plus that,
It changes you, so you're like the severe head damage, and then right now you're not playing, so you are able to do whatever the heck it is
Yeah.
that you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're kind of just like, and since the previous time he did kind of get away with what he did,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
probably like,
He
It's
thought he was gonna
easy.
get away with this one too.
yeah. But
He thought it
they
was
did,
gonna be
I think
easy.
on that documentary, they said that if it wasn't for himself having cameras in his house, they probably wouldn't have, like, they wouldn't have anything against him. Because,
Evidence.
yeah, because the video shows that he's walking around with like a weapon.
Yeah.
And then
And
what time he leaves, what time he comes back,
yeah,
like it all like
Yeah.
yeah.
In his jail cell when he was found that dead, when he was found that he was dead, on his jail cell on the walls and stuff, he had drawn with blood like pyramid with the eye, and he had put like Illuminati and a bunch of stuff like that on the walls that he had been drawing. And I
That's
think,
crazy.
man, he was, yeah, and he was like, so it was that he had an open Bible. It's talked about how he was interested in Christianity. He was interested in another religion. I forgot what the name was, but it was a certain type of music that he had learned in prison that introduced him to another religion. So he was going into all these depths of different things that I'm like,
He was
maybe he was
planning it,
having,
maybe.
yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I
Maybe
think,
trying to see what religion like lo salvaría. Because you know, like when you know you commit suicide and stuff, and muchas religions pues que no lo ven bien, right? So maybe he was trying
yeah,
to find one that would probably, you know,
but
the way
didn't
his
yeah,
mentality worked.
didn't they say that while he was locked up, he wasn't like freaking out or he wasn't like anything like that. He was kind of just chilling throughout the whole thing. Like he was calm. They said he like would go out once to the yard or the rec or I don't know what they call it.
yeah,
And then the rest of the time he was just in his cell. And I seen that, well, I heard that he had asked his wife or his fiance to send him books of like Harry Potter and all this stuff because he didn't
Mhm.
like the books that they were handing out. But they said that he
yeah,
like throughout the whole time that he was there, that he was just kind of like chill. Like he wasn't like get me out of here, please get me out of here, like pay this, pay
yeah,
that, or anything like that. He was just
yeah.
calm.
I think, I think it all had to contribute. I think
Yeah.
everything had to contribute to the outcome. And I think that him staying with those bad acquaintances that would encourage him to keep doing bad, that would encourage him to keep doing this and doing that. Because think about it, if he's moving up in the world and he's moving up in life and he's an NFL player, his friends aren't the ones getting the money. His friends aren't the one getting the consequences. His friends aren't, a ellos que les importa. To them, it's indifferent. They're like, well, that's not me, that's him. So I'm just gonna keep encouraging him to let's do this and let's do that. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that had a lot to do with it too. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I don't think we'll ever know because
I know.
he doesn't confirm anything. He doesn't confess anything. So at the
Bro.
end of the day, it's a mystery.
It's a, I wonder, like, do you guys think it's true? Because there was a lot of like in the documentary saying that he did have like a person in there. Do you guys think that's true? Like, 'cause you know how creo que un guy sí salía y decía que
Yeah, I think a
también
guy stepped
escribía
up later.
cartas, right?
A guy stepped up later and he said, "We did." And then even one of his childhood friends said
Mhm.
that they both experienced stuff
Mhm.
together.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know
There's
because
a lot that we
when I
will
had
never
seen
know.
when I had seen the documentary, that one guy did come up, but wasn't he just like random out of nowhere?
Well,
Out of
I
nowhere
think he showed
salió.
letters or something like that que le escribió también. Aaron creo le había escrito también una carta a él or something like that. I kind of
I
remember.
don't know because I remember seeing that and I remember thinking like this guy just came out randomly.
Because
Yeah.
you know there is some people that just, I'm not saying that he's a liar at all. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
but
not,
some people just look for clout in anything.
Wow.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That they're
So
like, oh,
yeah,
he died, he was a
yeah,
superstar, he did this, and now they're saying that he's bi. So I have the opportunity to say that he did, like,
That
yeah,
he
that
was
I
with
was
me or
that
something.
person.
because
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
who's gonna say another side of the story? Nobody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
So
Because there's
that's what
nobody else
made me
listening.
suspicious. That's what made me because I was like, because it was random out of the blue when he came out like, oh yeah, he wrote me letters and we were in. I was like, dude, where did you
Yeah.
come from? Because all of his entire life, he's linked to people of his past.
Well, I
His
mean, but
fiancés
you
from
if he was,
elementary, friends from high school,
pero he supposedly este guy, he was his cell lover.
his cellmate.
Yeah, his cell lover. O sea que estaba en la cárcel con él
Okay.
cuando esta vez que entró,
But they weren't
según de
in the
allí.
same cell, were they?
That's why I was like, I didn't.
I don't think
como
they were
que-
in the same cell. I think they were just in
Yeah.
the same like
Por eso se
Block.
escribían cartas,
Cell
¿no?
block.
yeah,
They're in the same cell block.
yeah.
I don't
But
know.
we'll never
But
know.
I know we'll never know.
Yeah.
I just hope that I feel bad for his daughter. I feel bad for his daughter because I think pobrecita, she's gonna grow up and she's gonna see everything and hear everything that everyone has said about her dad. And I feel bad for her, you know? And I even
Yeah.
saw that. So I don't know if you guys watched the Tom Brady roast on Netflix.
I didn't watch it.
So Tom Brady, I'm positive you guys know Tom Brady was part of the New England Patriots. He helped them win Super Bowls. And
Yeah.
he ended up playing with Aaron Hernandez, and he ended up playing with Gronkowski, which Gronkowski was present too. So a few people actually made comments and jokes about Aaron Hernandez during the roast. Yes, during the roast, they made comments and jokes about Aaron Hernandez. And his fiance came out and made a comment, but I haven't even looked into it. 'Cause I wasn't even sure because all the comments were of him like being gay. But to be fair, a lot of the comments about Tom Brady were being gay and the coach and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, this happened back in he died what 2017, almost 10 years later. I bet it sucks, but what can you really say? It's like your husband has already passed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think it's just more as like a sign of respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
That
how
she
much
just
respect
has-
can you have for a murderer
True.
that committed suicide?
Yeah.
And a roast is brutal, brutal.
yeah.
Oh my God. So they said some stuff on there that I was like, yo me muero. I'll fucking die.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what? I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm like, never mind. Like,
Uh,
there's a video that keeps coming up and it's a Justin Bieber roast. And it's a girl comedian. And I guess Justin Bieber's mom got pregnant when she was pretty young. I don't know how old, but she goes, and Justin Bieber's in the womb dodging coat hangers left and right porque lo quería abortar.
Oh my
And
God.
and Justin Bieber looks young and you just see him go like this. Dude, they're brutal. And the people they have in line are freaking crazy. So I'm just kind of like, it doesn't surprise me that they mentioned Aaron Hernandez in the
Yeah,
roast.
plus they siempre no, de todos hicieron comentarios like bad comments ever since he passed away. Like
Yeah.
there was a
There's
lot of
always
really
been-
bad comments.
Yeah.
The only thing I wish I knew, I don't think it's been confirmed. I don't know if it's been confirmed, is if his fiance and daughter ended up getting money out of his contract.
Yeah, I wonder if that could. ¿Quién sabe?
I wonder if they ended up getting, let me see. Let me just Google it. I don't think it's gonna say, but
You know what? I
Yeah.
think that's like the one thing that frustrates me because
What?
I'm the type of person I want to know who, what, when, where, why, and beyond that. Like
Right.
I have
Yeah.
all the information. Like
Yeah.
if you committed,
Why did you do it?
if you
Well-
unalived yourself, I want to know why.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give us a
Like, I
reason,
wanna
please.
know why. If you hit
Give us a
somebody
reason.
in the back of their head because of someone, why?
Why?
I'm not that chismosa.
Yes,
Like, you know,
dude, and I'm the chismosa that I'm like, I want to know why, but I won't ask you. If you tell me I
Like-
beat somebody up because they made me mad, I'm like, okay, good for you. But I won't ask
you know
why.
what?
I won't ask
I'm
what
that,
did they do.
I'm that type, but then later on when you're calmed down, I'm like, so what happened?
I won't bring it up no more.
No.
Unless it's like you
I
guys.
do.
With you guys, I'm like,
Oh, I
what
do.
the fuck happened, bitch?
Oh,
What happened
Yeah.
afterward?
I do because I'm telling you, I'm like, what happened? Who? But why would they do that? Like, why? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. No, I think you guys are the only ones that I do that with. That I'm like,
Chismorrear.
not chismorrear, nomás chingarles la vida, because I don't care. I swear, sometimes I message you guys so much and I'm like, I wonder if they still love me. And I'm like, oh, wow, even if they don't love me, they have me.
You're
It's
like, who
okay.
cares? I'm still
Who
gonna
cares if
fucking
they don't
text
love
them.
I'm still going to hit them up.
Yeah.
But
I'm
see,
like, y si no me responden, las busco.
Pues sí.
it's like, I think I know the people I can ask certain stuff to.
Yeah.
And I know the people that I'm just like,
You're like, I'm gonna have to
Like,
figure it
I
out
hear
another
stuff.
way.
I hear stuff, but I'm gonna let you tell me when you're comfortable.
Yeah, and if not,
Yeah.
I'll find out. Not through
Yeah.
you, but I'll find out
I'll find out
Not for you,
eventually.
but I'll find out little by little.
I
Yeah,
know. I know. No, I'm only
That's
like that
the
with you guys. Everyone else, I'm like, whatever they want to tell me, I'll be here and I'm like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. And I'll advise them or I'll encourage them, whatever it is they tell me about it. Or the chisme, I'm like, oh, yes, tell me more. Like, okay. I'm on
Well,
the
I
chisme.
expect if somebody else tells me something, they better tell me the whole thing. They better not just tell me
Yeah.
like, oh, no, you better tell me the whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's the
I
reason
suck at getting
why.
the chisme.
I think that's the reason why I like to know the full chisme, because it's like, tell me your story so I know where
Yeah.
you're coming from, and it's like, so I understand you. And then
Yeah,
Yeah.
later on, if I found out what somebody else said, then I can like compare the stories, you know what I mean?
right.
Yes.
Get all of it together, put
Like,
everything
I'm that
together.
secret detective in my head where I'm like, what, who did what,
Oh
like,
yeah.
what?
I know.
Yeah.
I
Like,
am too. I just don't ask people. Just you guys. And that's it. Everyone else, I'm like, si me quieren decir que me cuenten, y si no me cuentan, es
but
okay.
you know
I
what?
don't
There
stress.
are some times that I'm just more like, you know what? That's not even my drama. I don't even want to feel. I don't want to hear it. Like, that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there are some stuff that I'm like, if this may affect me in the long run, then yeah. And then there's times when I'm just bored and I'm like, well, I need something to entertain myself. You're
Yeah,
the
let
one
me
that,
get the
You're
whole
like, I need to hear a
one.
story. Tell me the cheese, man.
I'm like, you're the one that has all the drama, so lay it on me.
I
want to
know.
I'm here
I
for you. I'm
know.
here to
I
listen.
know. When I tell you guys the chisme, it's like I tell you guys hasta el pinche olor de la persona and everything.
I
My gosh. I know.
know. I
But
think that's why we all get along so well, because we all like the same thing.
I
We all
know.
like the cheese man, but not too
That
much,
shit
but we
is
like the cheese
that shit is so funny, dude.
man.
That's so funny. Like I think like me and China, we're related and we grew up together. So it's like, oh, like we have the same kind of like personality and vibe and we're
Yeah.
cool and everything. But then it's like with you, Rosa, that you came out from somewhere completely different. Y todavía nos queda, dude, nos caemos tan bien. I think that shit is so
Yeah.
funny. And we agree on a lot of stuff too that we talk.
I know, huh? Yeah, I noticed that. Like, que si nos acoplamos bien.
Yeah. I think that
Yeah.
shit's so funny.
You were like the missing piece.
I know. I know, missing piece
Oh, you
of the
know.
puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
So
that was,
now we're gonna be like, ¿por qué lo hizo? Nunca,
I
no
know.
vamos a
I
saber.
think that's
But you
the
know what? Eso que dijiste,
that's
de
the
que
best.
a lo mejor que he made suicide porque he might think que le dieran el dinero a ella.
Yeah.
Maybe that's one of the reasons why he did it.
Yeah. Well, it was rumored that that's why he did it. That's why he committed suicide so she could get money. And I think it was from his NFL contract or maybe life insurance, but life insurance
Mhm.
doesn't cover suicide, I don't think.
Too much. I don't know.
So,
I don't think it does.
see, so it must have been his
It kind of makes sense. I mean, if he were to do that.
yeah, it must have been his NFL contract. That's why he
Yeah.
You know
committed
what?
suicide. Well, ladies and viewers, that is our story for today, for episode 9. We want to say thank you to all our viewers. We hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys have any stories or true crime that you guys want us to dig into, maybe a little bit deeper than we usually do, let us know in the comments, or you guys can email us. And it's murderycomadriando@gmail.com. Ladies, any final thoughts?
Nope.
Nope. Alrighty. Well then, cheers to episode 9.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.